Wolves 30, the Castleford Tigers 8 in another step in the right direction for Sam Burgess's men. Welcome to round number 3 of In the Shed. This was a really interesting game indeed. The first 15 minutes, I have to say, some of the best rugby league I've seen Jacob Miller play in a Castleford Tigers shirt. He was all over it in that first 15 minutes. Real quality from him. And then as the game went on and Warrington got back into the game, he seemed to go further and further into the passenger seat. Joe Westerman also in great form in this one. At 70-ish minutes, he was substituted and the Warrington Wolves North Stand rose in applause. They knew that they'd witnessed a really solid display from Joe Westerman. It started brilliantly for the Castleford Tigers. A beautiful run from deep from Innes Senior, who had a fantastic game last night for the Castleford Tigers. Let's go through Senior's stats. Of course, that try in the second half, 156 metres from 12 carries, 3 tackle busts in this one, 3 clean breaks. He had a great game on the left edge for the Castleford Tigers, did Innes. Of course, he shot down the left-hand side. Great recovery tackle, it has to be said, from Josh Fulis. Duffy really did well to stand him up, but then the left from right to right sweep, absolutely pinpoint, and over goes Josh Sims for his try in the corner. It was all Castleford at that point, but slowly but surely Warrington started to get back into the game. 2 brilliant, sensational tries from Matty Ashton. Absolute beautiful finishes in the corner. The first one, oh yes, just what we like to see our wingers doing. Off he went. Just what a finish from Matty Ashton. And of course, the third try from Warrington, for me, pretty much was the game breaker. Beautiful run from deep. Yet again, they had many men in support. I thought Toby King was going to get to the line, but no. Off he offloads it to the testimonial man, Mr. Joe Philbin, and Joe Philbin goes over. And at that point, at half time, Warrington 20 points to 4 up. They were in the box seat. Came out in the second half. We've already mentioned the senior try. A really good try from Matt Duffy. Duffy had a great game for Warrington last night. A try, 2 assists, 27 carries, 231 metres from Duffy. He also had 8 tackle busts in this and 2 clean breaks. No doubt about it, Mr. Duffy in great form. The only criticism that I've got is in the first period when the ball got put up, he and Josh Fulis got into a right tussle. As a fullback, you've got to be calling for that, Matt. That's 2 games in 3 now that Matt Duffy's done that. He did that, of course, if you remember, with Aaron Lindop in Perpignan. He did it again on Friday night with Josh Fulis. As a fullback, you're looking at that ball, you've got to call it. That's my ball. You've got to take that ball. That was the only downside of what was a sensational performance from Matt Duffy. If you get the chance to watch this game back, look also at Lachlan Fitzgibbon on the left edge. He wasn't getting much ball, but the lines he was running were true. Really good performance from the second rower. Doing the hard work, the unnoticed work on that left edge, making some really good runs, pulling defenders out of position, which allowed the space for the Duffy try as a great example of that. Really good second row play from him. But I have to say, Ben Curry, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Curry last night playing loose forward for the Warrington Wolves. Who'd have thought this? Probably one of his best games in 3 to 4 years, easily. He had his hands on the ball. He was making true and honest runs down the middle. He had a sensational game and, of course, got one of the assists on the night. 24 tackles in the middle there, 17 carries, 98 metres from him. Trust me, if you watch Curry in this game, he was really good in that loose forward position. Sam Burgess was asked after the game, is that something that he could see going forward? It's certainly an option. Brilliant performance from Benjamin Curry. Congratulations must go to him on the night. I thought that those were pretty much the pick of the Warrington players, Fitzgibbon, Duffy, and of course Hayes as well. Leon Hayes, his kicking wasn't as good last time, but some of his tackling, 26 tackles and some of them on prop forwards. This guy doesn't know when to take a backward step. The Warrington Wolves fans have been really excited about Leon Hayes, and with each passing game, his confidence is improving. He looks a real quality assured player in that centre, and when George Williams comes back, I'll tell you now, for me, it is going to be a real interesting dilemma for Sam Burgess. Does he stay with Drinkwater, or does he continue with Leon Hayes? We're going to be finding that out in the next few months. For the Castleford Tigers fans, I don't think this is a bad performance from you guys. I thought you started really well. You remained in the game. There's some really good performances in there. I think El Zakim in the second row for you looks really good. 125 metres from 14 carries, 35 tackles in D. He had a decent game. I've already talked about Westerman. I've talked about Senior. Miller, for me, needs to be a little bit better. Last night on the right edge, Jack Broadbent. We're big fans of Jack Broadbent here at Super League Raw, but he was took off because that right edge of the defence was was where Warrington were getting joy time and time again. So maybe there's something that Jack Broadbent needs to work on in terms of his defensive qualities. But again, we do like Jack Broadbent here at Super League Raw. We think he'll be all right. Ron Milnes, of course, he played last night, and to be fair, he was all right. I thought again in the first 15 minutes he looked the part. But as Warrington got on the front foot, it became more and more tough. You look at the completion rates in this game: 93% for the Warrington Wolves, only 75% for the Castleford Tigers. And I think one of the real key stats in this was the missed tackles. Warrington Wolves missed 16 tackles in this game, 34 missed tackles by the Castleford Tigers. That's just not good enough. Poor completion rate plus missed tackles in defence. It can only mean one thing: a loss. It's as simple as that. Craig Lingard knows that. Of course he does. They'll have to get better. But this was a really interesting game of rugby league. Sam Burgess needed to back up on the Hull FC and improve. And it was an improved performance than the one that we saw against Hull FC. The pitch was still pretty dire at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. It was an improved performance. And I'm telling you now, and I said this at the match, it's an NRL style game that Sam Burgess appears to be playing. You know, when they're in their own half Warrington Wolves, they're playing straight and true down the middle, just try to eat those meters and get on the back of some good kicks and good field position to force errors. But when they get into the final 40-30 minutes of the opposition's half, that's when the likes of Leon Hayes, Matt Duffy, they really start to come into the game and start to throw the ball around. Only if there's a real opportunity on in their backfield, like for the Philbin try, does it look as if Warrington will chance the arm. Where we're used to Warrington chancing the arm no matter where they are on the field, it seems to be a little bit more disciplined. That's going to be something for us to all look at as the season unfolds. 2 wins now from 3 for the Warrington Wolves. Castleford Tigers 3 defeats from 3, albeit, like I say, I think the first halves at both Warrington and against Wigan were really competitive, and we know against Salford it went down to the wire. So, like I say, you Castleford Tigers fans who travelled about 4, maybe 500 there last night, well done. Stay behind your team. That first win, I don't think will be that far away. As for the Warrington Wolves, it's a steady bit of progress from you under Sam Burgess, without question. Right, who are we giving the man of the match to? This was a real headache for me, because I do think that Ben Curry had probably one of his best games in 3 to 4 years. I thought Ratchford did as well, if I'm being honest. But we have to give the 3 points to Matt Duffy. It was a complete fullback performance. A try, 2 assists, 8 tackle busts, 27 carries, 231 metres. You know, 2 clean breaks for good measure. A real quality performance from Duffy. We know he's got that in his locker. We have to give the 2 points to Curry. And then the 1 point, who do we give it to? Do we give it to Leon Hayes, or do we give it to Lachlan Fitzgibbon? I'm giving it to Fitzgibbon for the pure reason that his work goes unnoticed. Trust me, go and watch the highlights back. That's quality second row play. Yes, he was good when he had the ball in hand. He made 91 metres from 11 carries. 28 tackles in D. He did a real solid second row job, but it's the work he did off the ball that was even more impressive for me. Look at his lines. Any second row, any kid out there who plays second row, watch the lines of Lachlan Fitzgibbon when Warrington were in the final 20, maybe 30 metres of the Castleford Tigers line. Look at the lines he's running. Look how he's pulling defenders out of position. That is what it is all about if you're playing second row. Brilliant performance from Fitzgibbon. We have to give him the 1 point, albeit it was a really close run thing with him and Leon Hayes. But I think Leon Hayes' days will come when it comes to the man of the match performance. Warrington fans, were you there? Were you happy in terms of the progress that's been made under Sam Burgess? How are you Castleford Tigers fans? Are you pleased? This is a relatively new team. It's a youthful team, and they are competitive. Like I say, it's not probably these games against the likes of Wigan and Warrington that you're going to be judging your team on. They were very close against Salford, and I think when they start to play teams like that are down that bottom end of the table, who we expect to be in the bottom end of the table, that's when I think your wins may start to come. Great game at Halliwell Jones Stadium. It was a real good battle. We're still only 3 rounds into the season. I think both teams will get better. Warrington Wolves 30, the Castleford Tigers 8. That's been In the Sheds. We'll be back later in the day with the next episode. Bye for now.